All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Have a seat, relax. My name is Commander for those of you who haven't met me yet. Now, first, before we get into today's SCP file, I have some good news for those of you who filled out Form 779 Alpha last week. I just received word from OS that the project was approved. Since this has been greenlit, we will fulfill our end of the bargain. Every person who's filled out the form will be granted parole regardless of the crime you're serving your sentences for. D6645, D234098, put your hands down. I don't have time for questions. I know what this is about anyway. Listen, I'm aware that you were not allowed to read the form you signed. You were given the choice, however, and were told the result if you filled it out and participated in this little study of ours. Guaranteed parole. You want to know what the experiment is? I have been granted permission to discuss it. So what it is a live organ transplant. We're testing the healing properties of SCPs, and I needed some volunteers to have their gallbladders removed without anesthesia so we can utilize SCP's regenerative properties. If you survive the procedure, you're out of here and you can move on with your lives. Congratulations. And what's great is that the mortality rate is only 98% in the trial studies that we've done so far. So let's get into it. What we're looking at today is SCP-2020, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-2020 is kept in a Type 4 humanoid containment cell at Site-17. Standard amenities and precautions associated with T4-HCC are in place. Dietary supplement 2020-9 consisting of 1.4 kilograms of used shredded paper is to be provided daily to SCP-2020 cell. It is to be monitored for any unusual activity with all vocalizations transcribed. 128 grams of tissue samples from SCP-2020 are kept at Subsite Bio-17. Access to SCP-2020 or its biological samples are to be approved by the head of SCP-2020's research team. Description: SCP-2020 is a sapient humanoid entity, approximately 2.2 meters, which is 7'3" in height, and 70 kilograms, about 150 pounds in mass. SCP-2020 possesses unusually long and thin limbs, as well as facial features commonly associated with gray aliens and bright green coloration. SCP-2020's body is composed primarily of a novel form of natural rubber that appears to serve skeletal, muscular, circulatory, and endocrine functions. SCP-2020's digestive system and nutritional requirements are consistent with its diet, which consists entirely of paper and water. SCP-2020 has not shown any signs of growth or aging since recovery. Further study of SCP-2020's biology has been hindered by the rubber's toughness and resistance to tearing, which renders standard methodologies ineffective, as well as its dissimilarity to terrestrial biology. Now, SCP-2020 claims to originate from a technologically advanced extraterrestrial civilization, but will make wildly different claims regarding the nature and location of this civilization when questioned. Given the circumstances of SCP-2020's recovery, and I'll go ahead and read document BR-2020 to give you some context here. The avenue of research is nonetheless considered viable. SCP-2020's behavior suggests that it shares many psychological similarities with humans, such as the ability to learn, a desire for interaction, and partial understanding of social norms. It is fluent in English and responds to the names Artie, Bobby, and Izzy. It is not engaged in hostile behavior and appears indifferent to its own containment. SCP-2020 will frequently attempt to engage personnel in conversations regarding its desire to write science fiction and numerous ideas it has for science fiction stories. It has thus far failed to produce any actual writing, citing an inability to choose a concept. Now, this is addendum, an excerpt that I'm going to read you. Transcript 2020-1 ASO. SCP-2020 was permitted to speak to Researcher King on any topic it wished. And here's what it says. Here we go. No, wait, guys. I have an idea. Better idea. There's this facility, right? It was made by someone at some time in the past to bring the whole world back from, like, the apocalypse. Something could blow a big hole in the earth, and after the facility went game over, play again, why slashing the hole could just be like the Marianas Trench because the facility could pretty much do anything with physics and technology, I think. Cliche, right? I don't really know how exactly this fits into a story or anything, but I mean, it could be the setting, I think. I guess I can think. Guys, I have another idea. Forget that one. This one is like a brain in a jar. That's a guy. Cliche, right? But like the idea here is that I would just run with it. Crazy, nutty professor type, nutty inventions that don't work. Complete nonsense. But it's all working, guys. That guy and his inventions could be like a superhero or something. Germy vacuum, the vacuum brain in a jar with germs. That sounds wrong. I'll think of something. It's okay though, because I just got this awesome idea. There's a wizard, wait for it, from space. A space wizard, guys. That's not the only part though. He's a cyborg. And he's with five cat girls. And guess what the twist is? That's right, the cat girls, also cyborgs. And they fight crime. Cliche, right? I mean, but it's not, because they're fighting like space crime. Crime in space. Does that make sense? Guys, the story would be about them being cyborgs and fighting crime. Actually, no, because I just got a better idea. Wait, it's an AI, right? Artificial intelligence on a computer. Cliche, right? Well, it makes simulations of the perfect world for that person, and then when it like eats their brains, guys. But maybe it's not actually doing that, and I guess the characters don't know for sure that it's actually doing that because we can't see inside it. But here's the plot twist, though. It then puts a fake brain in them and makes the bodies convince other people to go into the simulation. Horror story. Or a sci-fi horror story. Science fiction, sci-fi, horror story. Wait, guys, here's an idea. I just got this one. There's a time machine, right? And it sends people to the future and then back to the present and in the future. And in the future, everyone dies from an asteroid. I mean, not everybody, just enough people that it's like everyone. Cliche, right? Well, the main characters, or I guess it could be like the villains or villain protagonists, they're trying to make sure that the future happens, guys. That's because every time they try to look at another future, the future is even worse because it involves actually everybody dying, except for the time where it's like, you know, who wants to live forever kind of thing. I don't know what the actual story is, but I'll think of something. Okay, wait, seriously, better idea. There's this alien, right? Like they have in the movies with the green skin and the big black eyes and everything. Cliche, right? But wait, and for whatever reason, I'll think of that later. It really wants to become a science fiction writer, but it can't stop coming up with ideas long enough to do it. And the twist, here's the twist. It's that it's talking to some people, and they're from a government agency that already has all the things it's talking about. And they're all like, how does it know this stuff? And does it even know that it's all real? Right? Wait a minute. 2 words. Just 2 words. Laser. Butt. Disease. Wait, guys, wait. That was actually 3. 3 words. This is going to be harder than I thought. Wow. That was a hell of a log to read, but you kind of get the gist of it. So that was an excerpt from transcript 2020-1. If you want to read the full thing, just put in a request with me. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that. But anyway, that was SCP 2020. You're fucking dismissed.